We're just going to do a subtle plug. Danielle Clardy is the best. 100%. This is recorded. This was not planned. I just want to get it out there. You can use this. I want you to use that. This is now the beginning of all of your videos.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the conversation series. This is my first ever Zoom interview with everybody. This is also my first interview with twins, with brothers. So I'm very excited for you guys to meet Zach and Danielle Brown, and they are going to introduce themselves, and then we're going to get into everything. So go ahead, boys.
So I'm the brother.
I'm the hair.
So I'm Zach Brown, like the band. I go to NC State. I'll be a fifth-year senior because I can't get enough. Yeah.
I'm Daniel Brown. I will be a fifth-year senior at Wilmington because I can't get enough.
Literally. So Zach, both of you tell what you are studying.
So I switched majors, which is why I'll be a fifth-year senior. But I'm switching to do an interdisciplinary study where I do basically the people and the psychology side of human resources.
And I'm studying music technology with focus in piano.
Very cool. So we were just talking a little bit before we started how they introduced themselves during this weird time in quarantine. Both the hair and the brother right there, they started this whole social media outburst is what I'm calling it, because it literally was. It like spread like wildfire. And so I just kind of want you guys to tell everybody what the hair and the brother is, how you guys got started with that, all that good stuff.
So New Life Camp, a local organization, they started this March Madness, which kind of takes a lot of the best parts of New Life Camp that people that have been going there for years or even just 1 year have experienced. Mm-hmm. And so there was this big bracket, and some people started making content for kind of breaking down what the bracket looked like. Yeah. And Zach and I thought, well, we can do that. And so we collaborated with a few buddies of ours and just started kind of dissecting each round as it went on.
Right. I mean, it got to the point where we got through the round of 64 and we looked at how many people had voted. And we talked with the execs at, I guess the leadership at New Life Camp, and they were like, we didn't really expect it to be this big, but we're really glad you guys are involved. And we're just happy to be able to talk about it.
Well, and so y'all, through your videos, then you kind of just started on Instagram, but then you actually went and created a YouTube channel for it.
Yes,
we did. Yeah, I mean, we really haven't been on it since. The tough part is with quarantine, I mean, I've had a lot of different friends that have been like, oh, I don't have anything to do but school. Right. I mean, like, I've been able to work from home and do school, and we had people, I mean, you asked us, we had some friends ask us, when are the hair and the brother coming back? Yeah. And I think right now we're getting to a point where we can
start doing some more
stuff. Bring some flair to the quarantine summer.
Yeah, we need to kind of narrow down what we want our content to look like.
That was what I was just about to ask. Like, do y'all know what you want to do, like, outside now?
So,
well, we know we're both very opinionated. We know that we are both very opinionated dudes. And we'll probably do something along those lines. Beyond that, we've got some guys that we're working with that we can hopefully brainstorm some other ideas.
Very cool. Y'all are starting a podcast, testing it out. Tell me the name, who you're doing it with again.
Because
I didn't get any of it.
So we're in cohorts with Michael Jordan. No, I'm just kidding.
That would be cool.
No, that would be kind of cool. I mean, I'm a state guy, but I mean, Michael Jordan's still to go. But anyway, so we've got two buddies, Jason and Jarrett, and we're calling it Four Guys Eating Tacos.
Very cool.
Every time we do the podcast, we're eating at least one taco. And the goal for this podcast is 25 minutes of as much variety as we can get. I mean, the great thing about it is the guys that we have, I mean, Daniel brings a completely different side to the podcast. Jarrett is one of the funniest guys that I know. Jason is knowledgeable in pretty much anything, and I'm just I'm just goofy.
He's just
And so when you get 4 guys like that, I mean, it brings out such an incredible, I don't know, camaraderie, atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's good.
So each of you is bringing something completely different. It's like a different viewpoint of things.
For the most part. And I mean, we kind of all bond in certain areas, and we all kind of mesh in certain areas of our viewpoint or like our worldview.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
it's I mean, since high school, we've all kind of had different walks, and so it's cool to bring those together and just talk about different things from our own new perspectives.
Yeah.
Now,
And eating tacos and having fun. I mean,
Yeah.
a big question I have, are you going to eat tacos from the same place every time, or are we trying different tacos?
so we've considered this, and I think the best option is as much variety as possible. Like, I'm not gonna go to Taco Bell and get. I mean, I could go for a Dorito Loco taco or just a regular taco supreme. But like, you got Salsa Fresh. There's a couple other local places. I know you got Chubby's Tacos down by State and by the Art Museum. I mean, there's just such good variety in Raleigh and Wake Forest that why would we want to go to the same place every single time?
Okay,
Well,
so let's try
in
different
Wilmington, there's one really good place that does dollar tacos
You can't
called
beat that.
Islands after 5 o'clock every day.
Yes,
I
I
think I'll
know
just run with
Islands.
that.
Yeah, I know. I like grew up at Wrightsville Beach, so I am very aware
Mhm.
of Wilmington and the whole area. So I love Islands.
So
Really,
she get it. She gets it.
really great place.
I get it. One thing I do want to talk about, both of you did not go to like an actual university straight away. You both went to community college.
I did.
I went right to UNC Wilmington.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you both have gone different paths. Does
Mm-hmm.
it make, like, is there a difference between how you see, what am I trying, like community college and then going to a university? Like, do you see a difference between going one way and going another?
I think, yeah, and I think I learned a lot of different lessons in my 2 years at community college.
Yeah.
And Daniel learned his own lessons in
Yeah.
his first 2 years at University of saying university at UNCW. I mean, and it's one of those things where like it was really tough. I mean, being twins, we lived in the same room for 19 years.
Yeah.
We were pretty much at each other's hip the whole way.
Yeah.
And so we graduated, we went through a summer, and it was difficult separating, but I think it was for the better.
Yeah, and with twins, any pair of twins, they grow at different rates and they want to experience stuff at different rates. I was very ready to go ahead, get out, start experiencing life outside of Raleigh,
Mhm.
and that just, I mean, that wasn't what Zach wanted to do, and so that kind of led to us taking different paths.
Well,
Did
yeah.
Zach, did you know you wanted to immediately, like, did you know you were set to go to NC State, and Daniel, you knew you wanted to go to UNCW? Like, is that where your hearts were lying?
So I've been set on NC State since I was like 2. Going into senior year, I kind of knew that the better way for me to get there was through Wake Tech, getting an associate degree and then transferring in.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel.
I wanted to keep my options open. I've always loved NC State, always will. And even still, I didn't know if that was the school that I wanted to go to. But when we visited Wilmington, as soon as we got there, I couldn't stop talking about how much I loved it. And we got to the end of our tour, and Zachary looked at me and he said, "Look, man, if you don't go here, I'm going to sue you," because he could tell that I really enjoyed it there and I was going to be really productive and
That's verbatim.
really enjoy it in Wilmington.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I made sure. I mean, it felt like his feel.
Yeah.
I wanted him to be with me. You know, I wanted him to be with me in Raleigh. But when I saw and UNCW, I mean, to be honest, Daniel's a very much like smaller school really suited him. It was more personable and it was more focused to him.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I can't get enough of people. And so for me to go to a school of 20,000 plus,
Right.
I was like, say less.
Say less. I'm kind of like Daniel. I did not know where I wanted to go at all when I was going and looking at colleges, but I went with my cousin who ended up going to UNC. and but she toured NC State, and I went with her, and I had never been on NC State's campus before, and I walked around and I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is
Awesome.
like where I'm meant to be. It took me 2 years to like an extra 2 years to get there, but we got there.
Did you hear she quoted Hercules? Yeah. This is where she's meant to be.
Probably one of the biggest Disney fans I've ever met is Zach. Like,
Oh yeah.
Real quick, you both are very involved in your own different ways on campus. I just like one of you to start and just like tell everybody like what you do on campus.
I, on UNCW's campus, am the president of the all-male a cappella group called the High Seas.
Yes.
I've been with them ever since my first year, and it's really cool to see kind of the growth of the group as a whole in my time there.
Yeah. I'm on the board for the Student Wolfpack Club, and I'm in the works with a buddy of mine and the marketing team that focuses on athletics in forming a student fan club for all of the athletics. So we're in the works right now. I'll be the first president, I believe. We don't really know. At this point, we're brainstorming. We're trying to see what we can do to get more student fan involvement in basketball, football, baseball, volleyball, rifle. I mean, we're looking at our options.
Now, Zach, I know, is such a huge sports fan. Daniel, are you a sports fan? Like, are you a big sports fan too?
I am. I think right now for Zach, it's more fun for him to go to sporting events because a lot of the times NC State has a better chance of winning.
We're getting better.
And UNCW baseball is always a fun time.
Yeah.
Being a music major and leading a group like the High Seas kind of takes up a lot of my time.
Yeah.
So I try to keep up with sports as I can, but I don't attend nearly as much, not even a fraction as much as Zachary does for NC State sporting events.
I don't either, but I like Zach would say, like, I am a huge sports fan, but I have never seen don't you do that to me.
Whoa.
Seen someone run around a sporting event like Zach does at an NC State sporting event.
He's a special breed.
It is, I mean, at basketball games, he's on one side and then he runs to the other. Like, I have never, Daniel, I can talk to you. What, with your degree, Zach's like, never mind, I'm back. What do you want, like, where do you want to go in the future?
Right now, we're trying to work different jobs, trying to go for internships and stuff like that to get more experience. I haven't the slightest idea. I know that I love music, and if I have the opportunity to do that for a career or for a long time, that'd be awesome. But I have so many other interests that I'm just trying to start like checking things off a list. Like, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to be a dog wrangler. No, I don't want to clean up after cats. It's just like it's different stuff like that.
He's setting the standard really wide.
Yeah.
Slowly. It's
getting smaller and smaller. All right, Zach, what about you?
I've always seen myself as somebody to help people.
Yeah.
I was talking with a mentor of mine, especially in the business field, and they said, you understand that if you say you're a people person, the last job that you should do is HR.
Right.
And I'm like, well, that makes sense, but I really I want to help people. And so I see that through recruiting. I see that through just people engagement. I had the chance to be a community relations intern at All Scripts over the spring semester, and I learned a lot about just how important it is as a group and as a company to come together and feed our community or serve our community or even just give our employees a chance to be passionate about something that they're passionate about.
Right.
And so through that experience and through what I'll be doing over the summer, I'm looking forward to expanding that as a sense, because for me, I just want to help people, and we're going to figure out more of what that looks like in the future.
Something that is very unique about y'all is that you were actually homeschooled.
Yes.
Tell me
You'd
about.
never guess it.
No, you wouldn't. You honestly would not guess that you two were ever homeschooled, but you were. I want you just like, I've always been super curious about what homeschooling is actually like.
Well, and I think a lot of people, especially now, are getting the idea that like right now is what homeschooling is like during this quarantine. It's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing like it.
Yeah.
When we were in elementary school, it was all about kind of keeping the energy moving within the house. Our mom did a fantastic job of managing Zach and myself and our sister, Nola Grace, who's just a year younger, and she had a rough time because we were tough.
Yeah.
But it was just about kind of making sure that it was interesting when we were younger, starting to really figure out how to learn. And we went to preschool and we went to a public school until 3rd grade, and that's when Zach and I started being homeschooled. But for us, it was all about keeping the enjoyment of learning.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time we got to middle school and high school, all of our classes were outside of the house with other homeschoolers. There's a wonderful community in the Triangle area of homeschoolers.
Yeah.
And so unless you're really trying to do so, it's hard to stay inside the house.
Right. I think the best part about homeschooling is like when we were in elementary school, our first year homeschooling, our mom took a book and turned it into a field trip where it was this book called Mailing May, where this tiny girl got shipped to her grandma because it was cheaper than buying like a train or a plane or whatever. Yeah. And so we ended up, that field trip was we took a train at like 5 a.m. and we went to Charlotte, went to the Life and Science Museum. It was like
friends of ours.
It was like an exploratory, and I don't remember the name of it. I would go back in a heartbeat because it was such a cool experience. And so we were able to do that with friends. And then we came back it was incredible. We were able to do school in Michigan while we could see family. We were able to travel a lot more freely than we would be able to. I mean, like it was Daniel was saying, the homeschool community is huge. We still played basketball and baseball for homeschool teams. It just looked a lot different because we were able to practice 4 times a week for basketball. Absolutely. We played against private school teams. We played against other homeschool teams. We were not good enough to play against public school teams. Those guys were huge. One time, our freshman year, we played against Kestrel Heights, and we only lost by 40.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Only by 40. That was a win.
Yeah.
That was It was actually David versus Goliath, and we were a losing David. You know, we still lost, but there was a picture of our point guard and our post. He was like 6 foot, and their post was like 6'8".
Daniel's wide-eye face just really explained everything. He was just kind of like, yeah, that was how it was.
It was a time.
I mean, and it was fun. You know, as extroverted as I am and as outgoing as Daniel is, it was really easy for us to still, you know, we found community in our church. We found community in the people that we hung out with at camp. And because it was such a large group of people, the socially awkward became social. Like it's just I mean, and it's crazy to think, like, yes, we knew a family that wore jean skirts and, you know, the casual homeschool wear. And yes,
we've met the stereotype.
we know the stereotype. And yet there's some of the greatest people that we know.
Yeah, that's awesome. So one thing that you did talk about is Michigan. Daniel, you don't know this, but Zach and I have had many arguments over this because my dad and his side of the family are Michigan State people.
Yeah.
So Zach,
you see, that's a Detroit.
That I'm for. That is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But Zach would come up to me and be like, Michigan. And I was like, Michigan State. And he's like, go blue. And I'm like, no.
Go green.
But he's like, I do both. And I was like, no, you can't. I was like,
yes, you can.
So our family, we've had people from our mom's side of the family that have graduated from Michigan State, and so they're big green.
Yeah.
And we've had a few family members graduate from Michigan.
Go
they do, I mean, not as flippantly as Zach does, but they do cheer for both because it's family.
Yeah.
We've had a cousin, an immediate cousin, graduate from Michigan, And the year before that, his older sister graduated from Michigan State. So even in that situation,
a beautiful house divided.
It's insane.
But say it with me now. Oh, how I hate Ohio State.
Thank you. I cheer.
That's the glue that keeps us together.
Yes. The only time, and everybody knows it too, if you know me, there's two things. I always cheer for Michigan when they play Ohio State. That's the only time of the year I cheer for Michigan. And I hate how Ohio State is the Ohio State.
Yes.
What makes you so great that you are the Ohio State?
Nothing.
All I'm going to say about that.
But here's the thing: is it's such a cultural thing now that when we watch the NFL and there's somebody that goes like the Missouri State Tigers, I don't know. It's the most obscure thing. But if we're going to talk about sports and we're going to talk about football, I think my favorite intro of all time is Russell Wilson when he says, "Russell Wilson, a whole pack of Badgers."
Russell Wilson from a whole pack of Badgers.
Yes, I love it.
It's just classy.
I love it. Yeah, and every time they introduce everybody, I always count how many people are from the Ohio State. And it's like at least 6 on each team.
Yeah. It's like they've got good football. I don't really get it.
I don't either. I really don't. And my guy friends will literally walk around and be like the Ohio State just to piss me off. And I don't get it. Like, annoys me.
I can't.
Painful. It's painful.
We have talked about New Life Camp. I want to know how y'all got involved with New Life Camp, just like from the beginning and what y'all have done over the years there.
So when our mom was thinking about it's a few years back. we were like 6 or 7, and our mom was already thinking about homeschooling. They were looking because there was a lot of communities already in North Raleigh, and so she found this homeschool group on like Yahoo, and this one woman, Mrs. Moss, she said, "Go check out New Life Camp." So our mom signed us up for day camp. We went for a summer, and we were like, "Wow, this is the greatest thing." The next year, our sister goes to day camp. It was the greatest thing. We went to overnight camp. I was homesick out of my mind, and Daniel only cried because of me. If he was by himself, it would have been good. It would have been fine. But I dragged both of us down. A couple of years later, our sister forced us to come back to camp.
Yeah.
And because of that, we ended up working as counselors in training for 3 years, and then on summer staff for 5.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest part was as we were growing up and as I began to like camp and Daniel began to scoot away from me as I was the homesick one. We found guys and we found community because the weeks that we would go to were homeschool weeks. They were called early week, and it was kids that were tracked out. It was kids that went to private school. They were already out from like Trinity, St. Timothy's, NRCA, and then there was all homeschool kids. And it was kids that we knew that we took classes with, and so it was super easy for us to get involved with something where we knew half the people working already. I worked these homeschool enrichment programs where I taught PE, and I was an assistant teacher. I couldn't teach the class, but I assisted in a science class.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't teach. Thank God. Daniel's like, thank God he couldn't teach it.
And so, I mean, like with a community like that and with programs like that, it's so hard not to get involved. And so it made it easier for homeschool kids.
I want to talk about, we have been talking about sports a little bit. What, just in general, y'all playing when you grew up, like, is that how y'all got interested in sports, or was there something about sports that hooked y'all?
Well, from a young age, our dad, we had the mini Tykes hoop or little Tykes hoop, whatever it was called. And our dad was always putting a baseball in our hand, always putting a football in our hand or a basketball, what have you. And from a young age, there was always that interest, especially when it came to competing or, trying to do new things. And so I think as long as we've been able to walk or run or catch something, we've been doing sports.
We were trying to 100% of the time. And our parents were really good about giving us enough exposure. Like, we were really involved with the AE Finley Y, especially like in developmental games. Yeah, we're gonna bring that in.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
But so like as we were growing up, our parents were like, "Look, like you want to try soccer? We're gonna sign you up for a season of YMCA soccer." And so we did that for a really long time. Now something else our parents did though was when we were 6, when we were 5, we saw our sister dance in a ballet.
Oh my
And
god.
or we were 6 at the time, and we looked on stage and we were like, "Wow, that looks really cool. I think I could do that."
That's kind of fun.
And so that summer, we were 6 years old, and our parents were like, "Look, we'll sign you up for a dance camp." And we were pumped. We were like, "Yo, this is where it's at."
I have to
So we danced.
I have to honestly say I've known Zach for almost probably 4 or 5 years now, and I've never
About
known.
You didn't know I
He
danced?
did. No!
Hang on. All right, so we're gonna backtrack real quick. So Danielle and I worked together at the Y as lifeguards.
I was his boss.
She was technically my boss. And then out of nowhere, I was a head guard. I don't really know how that happened.
I'm so surprised. Zachary's life is an open book.
Well, no, you know what? Though,
I know so much about Zach, but I never knew y'all did dance.
Wait, but what about when Ketty and I were doing our mini concert?
But like, I never knew y'all did that.
Yeah, we did ballet from 6 to 14 and hip hop from like 10 to 14.
Yeah.
We liked ballet so much, and we really did enjoy it. I think that was another part of why we're not truly super homeschooled, is because we were always with other people.
Yeah,
Right.
that helps.
Now, mind you, we were with like hundreds of girls. I mean, no, but like legitimately, I was thinking about it the other day when we were dancing. There was at least like 7 guys, and we were half of them with our best friend. And so we were all the same age, and so we were coming up, and everybody knew who we were, which of course is really intimidating. But then when they realized that we were just dancing for the heck of it, and we weren't going to make a career out of it, they were like, "Oh no, cool."
Yeah. As soon as they knew we like weren't serious.
Yeah.
We weren't serious about it.
We quit soccer to dance more.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up.
Yeah. So the sports that we played throughout like 5 till we graduated high school were basketball and baseball.
Okay.
And then we danced and like through middle school.
We danced all night to the best song ever.
No.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and talk about this. So Zach and I met. Literally, I came into work and my boss looked at me and she was like, "I just hired this new guy." She was like, "And you're gonna love this." And I'm like, "Okay, what am I gonna love?" She was like, "His name is Zach Brown." I was like the band? And she goes, "Yes." And so he came in and he introduced himself to me on his first day and he says, "I'm Zach." I'm like, "Oh my God, you're Zach Brown Band." And he's like, "I get that all the time." So, so then I was in charge. Yeah. But here's the thing. I'm going to let everybody know this real quick. His name is Zach Brown. I call him Zach Brown Band as a joke. He has never seen Zach Brown actually in concert. And
it's actually a sin. Like I need to catch them next time they come through.
Such a crime that your name is literally Zach Brown and you have never seen them in concert.
Yeah, it's true.
They're great, by the way. They put on a great show.
You know what? Actually, so second semester freshman year, I had a chance to travel for 3 months in Israel, and Daniel, as like this early birthday gift going away present, gave me a 2-disc set of Zach Brown Band from one of their live concerts.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I jam.
And I listened really hard to it. Well, Zach, you just brought it up because it's been something that we've talked about because you did go to Israel. Can you tell everybody what you did in Israel? Because it's actually really cool.
You didn't do anything.
Kind of just sat around.
Not a thing.
So I had the chance to go and live with a couple and their kids. They work for a ministry called Athletes in Action, which focuses on using sports to talk about and spread the gospel. And so mission work looked a lot different in Israel than your week-long, 10-day long, going to Africa, South America, going to build a school and eat local dry food. I mean, Israel's a first world country. I lived in Bet Zahor, which is just south of Bethlehem, and I worked for a a professional Palestinian basketball team. I was an assistant coach for a middle school Israeli baseball team. I was an assistant math teacher. The only reason they had me go assistant teach a 7th grade math class is because they were crazy. They were great, and I missed them, but they were crazy. And by the end of my 3 months there, the last 2 weeks, I spent touring Israel and walking where Jesus walked.
So you had like zero fun.
I had 4 weeks of jet lag and culture shock, and the rest of it was just smooth sailing.
Let me tell you,
No stories when you got back.
I had absolutely no stories.
Nothing.
Zach and I have talked about it, and I have heard he has had no fun when he went over there. What I got from all of that.
It's really hard for Zach to have fun really anywhere he goes.
I have a really hard time making friends.
Oh, it's so hard to agree with that, because I tell people, I'm like, he's the mayor of NC State.
Oh.
Because we'll just be walking, and he'll be like, hi, and I'm like, who is that? And he's like, well, and I'm like,
So
how?
So actually, funny story. I went and got lunch with my friend Morgan on this past Thursday. Social distancing, of course. We went and got Bojangles separate. We ate separate and walked around campus separate. And I just gotta say that for the cops out there. No, but I was walking around and I saw 2 friends. And of the people that we saw 4. And I knew half the people that were on State's campus again. I mean, and it was just really funny because my friend Morgan, she was like, Zach, like I feel like whenever I'm with you and your roommates, it's constantly, oh, hang on, I need to talk to this person, or oh, hang on, I need to talk to that. And I was like, well, apparently you haven't spent enough time with me, because they bug me about it the most.
Seriously.
Well, and I can't give them too much crap for it. My roommates won't grab dinner with me when we were on campus. My roommates wouldn't grab dinner with me because I would see too many people I knew, and it would take us forever to leave.
So it's both of you.
Yes.
So actually, it's our entire family.
Oh, it's everyone.
Our sister is basically the mayor of Meredith.
Yeah.
She graduated this year. Really proud of her, but no buts. She just knows everyone. She's as sociable as us, but the funniest thing is she's the quiet one of all of us.
It's wild.
And even then, I actually think Dan might be getting a little quieter than her. But when she was very involved with crew at NC State and Meredith, and when I would hang out with her, she would introduce me to a friend. She would introduce me as her older brother Zach, and the loud one of our family, and everybody would be like, "What? But no."
There's someone louder than you?
It's wild.
I'm the loudest. I can't deny it. But our dad comes by it naturally.
The sociable, not the loud.
The sociable, right? So we play a game wherever we go. If we're on a vacation, if we're getting lunch, if we're doing anything, the first person to spot somebody and call them by name is the winner.
That we know.
So we were in Disney one time, and we got separated for something, and our sister and our mom found a guy that we work with over the summer and won the game because we weren't there.
Are you kidding me?
In Orlando. Like, we were just chilling in Disney.
That is absolutely insane. Okay, so I have a family. Are y'all all competitive? Like, are you a competitive family?
I would say we're the correct competitive family. Like, it's not to the point. Like, if it's between Daniel and I, it gets nasty.
It does.
But, like, if it's our whole family, it's fun. It's like, our sister will get really competitive if we're playing cards, and she'll just go, oh, no points? What up?
Okay, so you're the correct kind of competitive. We are a very competitive family here.
Yes.
Zach, you've witnessed, but like just a little bit. Like to have to, like, during sporting events, it's more like when we compete against each other, we're pretty competitive. But when we're like watching sports, it's on a whole nother level. Okay, so we're on the topic of being competitive in sports. I want you to name me your favorite sport and your least favorite sport because I'm interested in this. Zach's gonna be having a hard time to choose.
I gotta spend more time thinking about my least favorite.
Fair to watch.
Ooh, good question.
Do watch.
Okay. That's really tough.
Okay, favorite sport to watch is basketball, specifically college basketball.
Yes.
It's always fast paced. It's always interesting, and there's always something on the line.
Okay, that doesn't shock me.
Least favorite, and this is like the most specific I can be,
I got mine.
is golf if I don't know somebody playing.
Okay.
Just like in general, like I won't just sit down and watch the Masters or any like professional golf unless I know somebody playing.
Okay.
Which there's a couple guys at state that are kind of killing it right now.
Yeah, there.
Not right now, but like are coming up in the pro realm.
My least favorite, NASCAR.
Oh, I didn't even think about NASCAR. That's not even a sport. NASCAR. Boo.
It's not like a boo. Like what they do is really difficult, and I'm sure I couldn't do it myself.
100%.
But it's dudes in cars traveling at 200 miles an hour, only turning left. I don't know. Like there's
joke. He's making a left turn. Look, he's making another left turn. That's how I describe NASCAR.
Cycling through different sports, and I'm like, there's something.
Cycling? I could watch cycling.
Well, there's something kind of interesting about other sports. Like riflery, the mechanics behind it are really cool. If you're watching like Olympic riflery or what else came to my mind? Curling is fascinating.
NASCAR doesn't even it like pales in comparison to golf.
Yeah.
And golf is like such
I'd rather watch golf than NASCAR.
Agreed. And I'm so glad that you said NASCAR because like I would watch golf. Like I was struggling. I was like what is a sport that I don't want to watch?
I was about to watch NASCAR because it's the only sport that's like technically on right now. So
don't do it. Don't do it to yourself.
So Daniel, what you might not know about me, I am probably the biggest hockey fan you will ever meet in your entire life.
I'm not even going to play games. Like, she is the biggest hockey fan you will ever meet.
100%. That's tough. We know a lot of big hockey fans.
She knows names of people that I, like, couldn't even think of. Not that I would never think
hard.
of. No. Not that I would never. But this is like, the reason I say I would never think of is because they're, like, second string goalie on an AHL team. That's in, like, Kentucky. Like, I just don't.
It was
an NHL team in Kentucky. I'm just saying.
So I love the earliest memory for me is like, and I say I am the biggest hockey fan ever. The earliest memory that I have in my life is my dad took myself, my sister, and my cousin Logan to a Carolina Hurricanes game when I was 4, and I was there when they won the Stanley Cup. Like, I am I still have the ticket from the game. Like, I have pictures from the parade afterwards. It was like, I am the biggest fan. So one of the things is my dad, my sister, and I go to games all the time, and we sit in this 101 section. And so I got tickets this past year for my birthday to see my second favorite team. I invited Zach because he had been asking to go to a game, and a couple of other guy friends.
Not only had I been asking, but we were trying to set it up with our friends that we were struggling through stat with, and every single game I had something come up. Whether it was a game for
Daniel, I'm not even kidding. Everybody could go except for him.
It was terrible. And then she finally was like, Zach, this night.
I was like, my birthday.
Yeah. No, and I looked at my computer and I looked everywhere and I looked. I was like, is there anything? There's nothing.
It was Zach, 2 of our other guy friends, my sister and my best friend, and Zach and I and the guys walked down to our seats, and we just kept walking down because that's where we sit. And I just hear all the guys behind me go, "Are we still going? Are we still going? Are we still going?" And we finally got to the seats, and they're going, "This is where our seats are." I was like, "Yeah, sit down." And they're like, "These aren't our seats." And I was like, "These are our seats." And they were freaking out.
Like let's pretend you're walking down. And
I've
you're
seen
Danielle.
a picture kind of like where y'all were at.
Oh yeah, I send him one. Yeah.
There was one that was I think it was a selfie of you guys or a picture of you guys, and I'm pretty sure I could see the rink from where you were at.
Yeah.
And the rink was like just there.
Yeah. There is everybody. If anybody were to describe what I do with my money, it is travel or hockey tickets. That is what I spend money on, and I'm not even kidding with you on that one.
I mean, we were walking down, and I kept hitting her. I was like, "Yo, can I get my ticket?" Because she just had it on her phone, and she was just like, "No, we're gonna get there." And I was like, "Yo, is that
We're
us?
still going.
Is that us?
That's the right move.
Is that us?"
So thank you both for coming on. This was probably the best Zoom conversation I've ever had. I want to hear the podcast. I want to see more of the Hair and the Brother because once again, coming up with the best names ever for different things. Like that was the best twin move ever.
Should we show her the handshake?
No.
Show me the handshake.
No. Ooh.
Stop.
It's better in person, so
is.
it's gonna have to happen again in person.
But thank you both for coming on. I appreciate it. I love talking with both of you. And if you guys, Zach knows this, if you guys like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe down below to join this awesome family, and I will see you guys back here next time. Bye, y'all.
Thank you.